I think it was a pretty solid match. I felt that I started, really well. I felt like I was in control throughout the match. I felt a little bit, in the end, got a little bit tight. She ripped some big points, changed up with some higher ball. So I definitely could have adjusted a little bit better there. But it's in the moment I felt that. I still played pretty solid and very happy that I was able to finish the match on a strong note.
Great. Very good. Thank you. Questions?
Hi, Eleanor Crutzen, Press Association.
Could you please speak up a bit?
Oh, sorry. Eleanor Crutzen, Press Association. How did you feel when you realised she wasn't going to shake your hand? And were you expecting that or were you surprised?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I don't believe that making a big deal out of it is important. I always shake hands with my opponents. I had the same situation with Yastremska in Washington. It is what it is, I just move on. I cannot force anybody to shake my hand. It's their decision. How did that make me feel? It's not the most important thing in the world right now.
David.
David Kane, tennis.com. Marta seemed particularly upset that you haven't reached out to her in the last couple months, and I'm curious if that's something you'd like to do and maybe why you haven't.
Well, I've offered many times through WTA because I believe that there is a sort of sensitivity, and I've been told that that's not a good time. I don't have, or I never had a close relationship with Marta. I obviously knew who she is, but I've never practiced with her. I've never really had conversation with her. So when, in March, when everything happened, I've reached out to all the players that I personally know and I still have a good relationship with. I'm talking about Ukrainian players, of course. And, I don't feel that forcing myself to speak to somebody who maybe doesn't want to speak to me for different reasons is the right approach, but I offered. I feel like I've had a very clear message from the beginning, is that I'm here to try to help, which I have done a lot, maybe not something that people see. And that's not what I do it for. I do it for people who in need, juniors who need clothes, other people who need money, other people who needed transportation or whatever. That's what is important to me, to have people are in need. If Marta wants to speak with me, like she texted me yesterday, I've replied. I'm open to any time to listen, to try to understand, to sympathize. I believe that empathy in a moment like this is really important, which has, again, been my clear message in the beginning. And I'm going to stand by that because what's happening in the world is very difficult right now, but we shouldn't forget that we're all human and we should treat each other that way.
Hi, Molly McKelvey from the Daily Telegraph. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
About the text that she sent you yesterday, she said she wanted to kind of give you a heads up about the handshake at the net. She wanted to explain to you why she had made that decision. I just wondered, she'd also spoke about how your role in the Player Council is part of why she spoke out last week and how she thinks you should be more vocal about this issue. I just wondered your reaction to that.
My role in the Player Council, I think, I don't want to speak for myself, but you can ask every member of the Player Council and a member of WTA who see me in that Player Council role and what I stand for. and what I do for players. So I don't need to sit here and pat myself on the back. I know very clearly of my actions, and I don't think that, with all due respect, I don't think she has any idea of what I do in the player council because she's not there. So if anybody, as I said, like if anybody wants to talk to me, I'm always available to players because it's part of my job, to player council, to listen to feedback of players. And Marta is no different from me. You know, it's, to me, I look at her as a tennis player, as a colleague. I know she's going through a lot of difficult situations. It's not easy to handle. From, you know, my perspective, I wish she had somebody who guide her a little bit better through this difficult time. So, you know, there's going to be more sympathy from others. You know, I feel like when you're trying to, I don't know, react, it's not always received that well. So I'm always open to listen. I can't force people to do something they don't want to do. But anytime, she has my number, as you know, she texted me, and all others as well. So whatever I can do to help people, I don't play political games. I don't play media games. That's not what I'm here for. I'm a very direct person. That's, I mean, many of you know me for many years. I don't go around the corners. I go straight to the person. I don't like the Twitter is not a place for discussion. The place for discussion is face-to-face. And that's, if anybody who knows me outside of the court, that's what I'm about. I've talked with people, not through the phone, not through the text, face-to-face. So, as I said, I'm just going to bring it out there if it's needed to be said in the media, that I'm very open to do whatever is necessary, because I think, as I said, in this type of moments, it's important to be human and be empathetic to others, whether people are going through. You never know. Sometimes you cannot see it.
Brian.
Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. I just wanted to ask real quick a less sensitive topic, because you're one of the few who's been in that stage playing big matches in Arthur Ashe against Serena types.
Yeah.
And the players doing it this week, I've never heard that kind of noise.
I've heard that noise. Believe me. Yep.
But what is it like? Is there anything that compares to it, anything that can prepare you for it? And how does it affect you just trying to play a game when I'm sure you don't hear anything like that very often?
I mean, it's not an easy thing to handle, absolutely. And I think as you said, for somebody who's never kind of been there, it can be quite intimidating. For me, it always fueled me to be better. And, you know, the second final that I lost to her, I actually had a lot of people supporting me as well. And I understand why they're coming here. It's not like, okay, they're against me, they don't like me. I don't take it personally. I believe that, you know, she's such a big magnitude of, you know, tennis and so much force that there's no doubt that people are going to be supporting her in New York. So I take it as motivation to show great tennis, and I think that speaks for it. That's why people want to support you after is you showing you know, great tennis. But, you know, it's last Serena's tournament, like nobody wants to kind of miss those matches. It's pretty special. So I'm sure it's not an easy place to be across the net.
Okay. Bream.
But also special. I will say it's special. So.
Hi Vika, congrats on the win. Rima Valir from Eurosport.com. Vika, I haven't spoken to you this week, so I just wanted to ask you before the tournament. Obviously, you wanted to be part of the exhibition of Tennis Plays for Peace, and then it didn't happen for you. I'm just wondering, can you tell us what the sequence of events was like, and how did it go for you?
I mean, it's a long story, but, you know, I've been called by the USTA and asked if I would be participating, and it's a no-brainer for me. Like, why wouldn't I participate in a humanitarian aid for people who are really struggling right now? It's not even a thought for me at that moment. I thought that when people, you know, asking, like a question earlier, when you're asking, you're not doing enough, you're not saying enough, or not doing this. I thought that this is a gesture that really shows commitment. I'm not sure why I wasn't taking it that way. I don't want to judge that. That's what happened. You know, I make steps towards help, towards listening, and if it's not received, again, it's a simple thing. I can't force it. I'm not gonna go and say, "Oh, how dare you?" It's not my place. My place is to be there to offer my help, and that's it. And I thought it was a great idea to make this event. It's turned out to be an incredible event. We're raising a lot of money for a great cause. That's it. I mean, was I there or wasn't I there? The most important was the objective to help people. And that's how I take it. It's not, if I make it about myself, it's a different thing. And I don't want to make anything about myself, because hopefully I don't perceive as self-centered. So I want to, if that was more helpful for people, then that's it. It's simple.
We have time for one more question, Matt.
Matt Futterman from the New York Times. So what lessons do you draw from the events of last week and then today about what you can do, want to do, what the WTA should be doing in this situation moving forward towards these players who, as you've said, you know, are really suffering?
Well, I think that there's a lot of things are done and they may be not talked about enough. And from my perspective, I see there's a different thing on public and when there's cameras around, and there's a different story when there's no cameras around, and when there is conversations face-to-face and personal conversations. So that is what I sometimes struggle with to understand. But again, it's not up to me to judge. What I can do is offer my help, and then I don't know what else can we do. Hopefully we can find some solutions, open to listen to solutions of what that help needs to be. But as I said, I'm not going to play these media games, and I'm not going to play any political games. That's just not who I am, and I've never done that in my life, and I won't do that.